to the press conference for the Big City Brawl in Duval. As you all know, this is the first live televised pro boxing match since 1997. That's about 17 years, so that's a long time. We know Jacksonville will come out for this here, support more boxing. We have more down the line, thanks to Mr. Artie. We're going to have more coming in that we'll be mentioning shortly. I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I want to get the fighters and everyone introduced, and then we'll come up and thank the people that are helping us make this possible. Ready, Artie?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. First, Josh is going to hand me back my notes because I forget things at my age. Secondly, I want to thank my partner because if it wasn't for Kevin, none of this would happen here. Boxing wouldn't be back in Jacksonville, and you have a hell of a show on the card. And what's going on with Kevin, he's trying to build boxing back up here. It's on ESPN, it's on Friday night. Give you a little bit of knowledge about ESPN. It's the ESPN2 boxing, the Friday Night Fights. It's the highest rated program on the air. The #1 show year in and year out on the ratings, week in and week out, is ESPN's Friday Night Fights. It's also be shown in about 50 countries. This young man's got a problem because it's going to be live in Brazil, so the heat's on him to win. So, explain what I'm telling you, understand? Explain what I'm telling you. So, that's first. I want to thank Kevin, because without Kevin, it doesn't happen. First thing I'd like to do is I'd like to have Robin, and I believe it's Timothy from the building, come up and say a few words about our building. We appreciate them having us there also. I have not seen it yet, but Josh, who runs my company, says it's a great facility. So Robin, why don't you come up and say a few words on behalf of the facility?
Thank you very much, Artie. Kevin, it's been great working with you so far. Jacksonville, get ready for an event that hasn't been in Jacksonville in lots of years. Again, this is just another perfect event that will be hosted at Veterans Memorial Arena. SMG, the city of Jacksonville, are very excited to be hosting this event, and we're very excited to have a lot of new guests in town. So all of you enjoy your event here in Jacksonville, and we'll see you on Friday night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. All right, now we want to bring up our partner that came in to help us out real big. We're doing a 2-for-1. He came up with he wanted Jacksonville to come out real strong, so he decided that everyone that buys a ticket, he would buy the other ticket. So that's why we're doing a 2-for-1. I'm going to bring up Mr. Jeremy Mincy of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And he promised not to hit me.
Well, normally I would be in the ring myself, and I was playing. But I'm honored to be a part of a great event. I'm looking forward to bringing more boxing to Jacksonville, and also just bringing the whole city out, bringing the city together, man. Developing a very solid, stable economic growth in Jacksonville, and I'm just elated to be a part of it all, and I look forward to watch these boxers go at it, man, head on head, and getting after it. And I thank y'all for actually allowing me to be a part of this event. And everybody, make sure you come out and enjoy, and promise you won't let you down. Thank you.
On behalf of the host hotel, the Wyndham Riverwalk, I'm going to bring up Chantel to say a few words. Come on, thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Wyndham, the management staff, and all of our associates, we'd like to thank you all for coming. And we are very excited to have this event in Jacksonville. Thank you very much.
Before we get into the main event and co-feature, I want to talk about the undercard. Some interesting situations going on here. Kareem, I understand, is here. And you are a police officer, correctional officer?
Correct.
And you're fighting Chris, who owns a car dealership, or runs a car dealership. So this is going to be good, because, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but he says that he's going to beat the correctional officer, and the correctional officer wants to get a better price on a car. So I'm assuming this is going to be a good fight. But I don't know either one of you, but I know it's a good fight. And I'm only making a joke because I know you're good guys, and this is what you're looking to do, and you love it. So I'd like for you to come up and say a few words. Chris will say a few words, and say what you want to do. And, you know, this is your hometown. This is your world. This is your world, and we're happy to have you. I'm honored that you're on the card. So would you like to say something? Come on up.
First of all, I want to thank God, and it's just an opportunity of a lifetime. For me, this is a lifelong dream of mine. I've been boxing in the Guns N' Roses event. I'm kind of known around the city, and that Dan Hicken knows me. He's one of the commentators that be there every year, and I just want to do great, you know, show the professional aspect of the boxing game, really put my name out there, and pretty much show that you know, you can come from nothing to something in a split second just by the will of God. So I'm just trying to do my best. That's all.
Chris, why don't you come up and say a few words? Chris is from Providence, and he now lives in Jacksonville. And what kind of cars do you have? I got a couple daughters.
I'd just like to thank everybody for being here. It's a great opportunity. It's going to be a great fight. Really looking forward to it. I'd just like to thank the promoters and the matchmaker for making the fight. Really looking forward to it, and I'm ready for a fight. Thank you.
The next match I'd like to talk about, it's Curtis Harper and Donovan Dennis. Now, I'd like to give you a little background on the trainer of Donovan Dennis. Danny, who's sitting over here, I've known for 17 years. And he had one of the finest middleweights in the world, fought 3 times for the championship of the world, Antoine Eccles, who was promoted by our company. And the only man that Bernard Hopkins ever said hurt him. Only man ever hurt him. And Antoine was just something special in the ring. So Danny calls me. He says, I got somebody else like Antoine already. And I just met the fighter today. And I signed him before I met him, because I know what Danny's all about. And Danny wouldn't bring me a fighter that he didn't think could fight. That doesn't mean he's going to beat Curtis Harper, but Danny says to me, oh, he can fight. So right now, I would like to introduce to you one of the new guys who just signed with Banner Promotions. And why don't you come up here, Don, and say a few words, and then we'll bring Mr. Harper up. But he supposedly is a good fighter. We're going to find out how good he is on Friday night.
I'd like to say is thank you, Art Blue, for giving me the chance. I mean, I'm young, I'm hungry, ready to put in work and show you guys what I'm all about. Danny put his neck out there for me, so I'm not going to let him down either. And that's it. You tune in for a great fight.
Is Curtis Harper here?
Yeah.
Right. Well, you should be up here, Curtis Harper. Now, my matchmaker who made this match, his name is Eric Botcher. And Eric Botcher is one of the finest matchmakers in the business. I don't know Curtis. And like I said, I didn't know Donovan either. But according to Eric Botcher, who's not here, he's running around doing some errands, it's a pick'em fight. So the first fight we've signed with him, you're in a fight. That's your job. And this gentleman, I'm told from Eric Botcher, it's a pick'em fight. So Curtis, I'm proud to have you on the show, and thank you for coming. So say a few words if you like.
Well, I gotta thank God first for allowing us to come here and have a great event in Jacksonville. Born and raised here in Jacksonville, so the event is much needed here in the city. So being an inner city youth, growing up, you know, reckless and young, this is a very big opportunity. And believe it or not, I don't know how to let my city down. So for whatever it's worth, for whoever knows, you know, the city got a champion in me, and I'm going to show that come Friday night. No ifs and buts about it. Friday night is going to be a fight. Anybody come to fight. So I know that's come to show what Jacksonville about. So thank you.
So right now, there's one other younger fighter on the undercard that we'd like to talk about. His name is Taras Shelisuk. I got it right, didn't I? Yeah. Taras is a bronze medal winner from the 2012 Olympics. He's managed by Vadim, who has been managing a lot of our fighters, and probably one of the best fighters in the world today, Ruslan Provodnikov, who gave Timothy Bradley all he wanted, is also managed by Vadim. Vadim calls me, and he goes, Artie, we got another fighter. He's from the Ukraine, he won the bronze, and he's something special. So, again, Ruslan's training for Bradley at the Wild Card Gym. I go to California, I want to see this kid train. We put him in a fight in California on ESPN. No, was it California? Where was the first fight? In New York, and he destroyed the guy. You know, that's his job, he's a young kid. Then we put him on a fight in California on ESPN, and he gets dropped. He gets dropped, is it from me? He gets dropped in the first round, and he's hurt. So we're watching the fight. It's real easy to win when you're supposed to. He was supposed to, but the kid hurt. He got off the canvas, got himself focused, wound up knocking him out in the third. Was it the third or the fourth? We're knocking him out in the fourth. That showed me more than beating a kid that was just an opponent. What he did was, got off the floor, hurt, a little staggered, a little out of it, and he found a way to win. And as trainers will tell you, that shows you the quality of a fighter. That's what you want. It's easy to be a front runner. When you're tasting your own blood, when you're hurt, you're staggering, you gotta suck it up, you gotta do what it takes to win. And that's his only second pro fight. That's what you're looking at. So I would like to have Taras and Vadim say a few words, because we think that he's going to be something special. More so because he got up. That's key. So Taras, Vadim, it's yours, ladies.
Всем добрый день.
Hello to everybody, I'm glad to be here.
Очень приятно боксировать на этом шоу. Я уже за четвертый месяц провожу четвертый бой, и это очень хорошо. Я надеюсь, что будет грандиозный шоу, хорошие бои, так что приходите, смотрите. Я думаю, что я не разочарую вас своей победой. Я думаю, что она будет нокаутом.
I've had 4 fights in the last 4 months. I've only been in the United States for 4 months. I hope everybody will come out and support me and my opponent as well. I think it will be a great fight. This was actually the first opponent that Taras is fighting, who's 7-0 with 3 knockouts. So this is going to be a big test for him, and hopefully Taras said he will not disappoint everybody and all the fans and win this fight by knockout just like his previous 3. So I hope everybody comes out and supports.
Thank you.
The young fellow that Taras is fighting is 7-0 with 3 KOs, and this is a test for him, for Taras. He is at the eye doctor right now, and bear with me. I think, what's his name, Travis?
Travis Hanshaw.
Travis Hanshaw. So it should be a very interesting fight. He's got 7 fights, Travis. Taras has got 3. Got a big pedigree, big amateur background. So it's another fight where sometimes it's not good to be favored to win, because you have to look good all the time. So we'll see how he does. And he knows it's a job. He knows it's a real hard business. So now we'll get to the co-feature before we get into Sergio and the main event with Proksa. Co-feature. This young fellow, Patrick, is from Sao Paulo, right? Sao Paulo, Brazil. If I remember right, Patrick is undefeated with 19-0. All right, 19-0. Hold on, this is important. 19-0 with 17 knockouts. And in Brazil, it's soccer. There's only one fighter outside of Marcelino Popo Freitas was the great Eder Jaffe. He wants to be like Popo. He's got a problem. He's got a real hard problem because the guy he's fighting, it's a pick 'em fight. And he's a local guy, he's a Floridian. And ESPN knew it was a good fight. Patrick is taking a step up, come to the United States, first time here. You'll be able to talk to him. Eduardo Mello, who's his manager and my dear friend and my partner for many, many years in Brazil, he says he's ready. So I said, okay. I said, there's a kid in Florida. I think you're 13-2, right? And it's a fight. And losses don't mean anything. It depends on who you lost to. If I'm 20-0, you got a problem because I can't fight. But if you're a guy who's fighting in the fight business and you're fighting everybody, you have a couple losses to great fighters and good fighters, that's a different story. He's a real fighter. It's going to be a real fight. And he stepped up and flew 5,000 miles to be his first fight on ESPN that's going to be aired live in Brazil. So it's going to be a very intriguing fight because the winner of the fight will be back on the network. The whole business of boxing, it's a brutal sport. He knows. If you win, you're in. If you lose, you're out. Your whole career is predicated on looking good, doing well, being TV friendly and fan friendly. That's the business. It's not like, I was telling you earlier, it's not like being in the football business or being in baseball or basketball. You have contracts. If you lose, if the Philadelphia Eagles go 5-11, quarterback's still getting $8 million a year. Not in boxing. You have to win. You have to win and you have to do well winning. So I'm saying all this because now you get into the main event and co-feature where everything's on the line for these guys to figure out how to stay on the TV, how to keep making more money, and then eventually go on to bigger and better things on paid cable and hopefully, which is the holy grail, pay-per-view. Very few get there. And you got real world-class fighters here figuring they want to get there. He's been there. He wants to go back. All right? And these kids are trying to figure out where he's been. So right now, I'd like to introduce Patrick to you to say a few words. Eduardo's going to translate in Portuguese, from Portuguese to English, and whatever English you have, you're on, and then you're next, because this is another pick-em fight. And the people who make the matches at ESPN wanted him in the fight. So get up and say a few words first. Say whatever you want to say. Don't have to thank anybody. Say whatever you want to say.
Oi, tudo bem? Queria agradecer a Kevin e Artes. Estou muito feliz para vir até Jacksonville participar desse grande evento. Espero fazer uma grande luta.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks to Kevin, to Archie, to the city people, and thank you very much. We're proud to be here.
Eduardo, would you like to say
Thank you.
Marcus is 13-2 with 3 KOs. The people who picked the fights at ESPN said to me, the Brazilian's got his hands full. And I said, well, listen, that's the business of the sport. So I don't know if this is your first time on ESPN. Right? So how many times? They must have seen you before. They knew you before I did.
This is my 3rd or 4th.
Right, so they know. So they don't bring you back if they don't know. And I have not seen Marcus fight. And I've never seen Patrick fight outside in the gym. And when I was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Eduardo takes me to the gym, and one of the great fighters from Brazil, Xuxa, who's the only guy who ever beat my champion, Acelino Freitas, twice, right? Beat him twice. Wow. So this was the #1 contender in the world for how long? A year?
For a year before.
Xuxa, say hello. Stand up, say hello. This is one of the great fighters also from Brazil. What was he 72-0. That's why they avoided it. But anyway, back to Marcus's fight over here. They knew him before I did. And they told me they want him on the card. And neither one of these kids have been under my promotion. He's not signed with us. You know, he's a fighter we brought in from Brazil. So this is an exciting match. This is a very exciting match. And I would like for you to come up and say a few words because, you know, Brian Queter from ESPN says it's a pick-em fight. So,
first and foremost, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity. Artie Palulo and Banner Promotions. It's an honor to be here and an honor to be seen on TV. I know Patrick's going to come to fight. He He has a great record, but once we step in the ring, the record doesn't matter. I'm training hard. I just came off of a great win, and I'm ready. You know, so Friday night, you're gonna see a show. Magic time. What's up?
The main event. The guy over here on my left is no stranger to big fights. He's been around for a long time, won his first 21 in a row. Everybody knows he's the first contender winner, Sergio. Good guy, great fighter, good heavyweight. And he's in a position now with his career that he's in a position to come back and he wants to get him back on premium table. He wants Gennady Golovkin. Everybody wants Mora, Gennady Golovkin. They want Martinez, they want Chavez Jr. And he's in a position, and Proksa, whoever wins the fight, is in a position to get that big payday again. And he knows he's fighting for former European champion. This kid, his last fight in America, I believe, was on HBO. Yeah, don't tell ESPN I said that. Was on HBO, and he got knocked out by Gennady Golovkin. So he's trying to make a comeback. He's not making a comeback. He wants to get in the big fight picture again. And I know him a long time, and he remembered how I like hanging out. So, and he's always been a good guy. He's always come to our fights. I don't think I've ever promoted one of your fights. Right? No, so this is the first time. And I'm really honored to do that because he's a class guy. He's a class middleweight. And these are the kind of fights that put people in a position to advance their careers. It's all about that. Whether it's a 4-rounder all the way up to the main event. And he's a real seasoned pro. And he's one of the best at what he does. And I don't need to say anything more about him. Sergio, come on up and say hello, do whatever you want to do. He's there. He's in the game.
I've known Artie Palula for a couple of years now, class act and a hell of a promoter. I'm glad to be on Banner Promotions doing this on ESPN for my fifth time as a career as a professional. I've been fighting on Showtime, HBO pay-per-view, ESPN. I've been around 11 years as a pro, 17 overall. Never convincingly beaten, never knocked out, never beat up, as the ladies could tell. You know, I love this sport, but it is a very shark-type world of business. And if you don't look good winning, then you're going to be pushed aside until you're willing to take bigger risks. So that's the predicament that I'm in right now. I've never really been beaten. I won a world title. I won a reality show that was seen around the world, so people know my name. But I don't have that style, or at least I don't take the chances to put myself in a position to really get beat up. Who would? I get paid to win. Times have changed. And I realize the position I'm in, the predicament I'm in, and I'm going to change that this Friday. I've never fought in Jacksonville, never been to Jacksonville. It's a lovely city. And for the first time, I hear that you guys are going to be having boxing since 1997. That's a long time coming. I know there's some hungry fans out there. You guys should show up. The tickets are priced well, and you got a hell of a card and a hell of a main event. I mean, a promoter's job is to sell a fight. It's not a fighter's job to sell a fight. But I'm telling you right now, from what I heard from these gentlemen, these young kids, it is a great stacked card. And my opponent, who's not here to speak for himself, he's a hell of a fighter. You don't get to the top on that network that he mentioned. I'm not going to mention it, but you don't get to that network unless you're pretty good at what you do. And he fought a killer in Gennady Golovkin, a guy who I don't see as a killer. So after I take care of business on Friday, hopefully I get the opportunity to face this so-called killer, and I'll show you what skill could do against killers. But first things first, it's Proksa, a European champion, the networks, the promoters. It's me against the world. So enjoy the fight. I'm well prepared. Thank you very much, and take care. God bless Jacksonville.
I'm going to hire you. You're better. You're better than I ever been. But look what I told you, class side. And the reason why Greg Proksa is not here right now is that his medicals were done in Poland, and they were in Polish. And they haven't been correctly translated, so we're doing them in English today. So his eye exam and blood. So I do apologize for that. He will be available at the weigh-in for one-on-ones as everybody else is. So I'd like to ask you, before I get into some of the work we have to do with the arena, what time does the door open?
5:30.
5:30?
5:30.
All right, and the first bout, Josh? 7 o'clock, and ESPN starts at 9?
Goes live at 9.
Live at 9 o'clock. So, but any questions from the audience, from the reporters? Anybody like to ask any of the fighters anything? Any questions at all? Okay, so why don't we do the face downs? You guys go to grab your cameras and do it? Over here? You want to do that now? The face downs? Okay, good. All right, so we just need to move this. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll see you tomorrow. Where is the weigh? Where's the weigh? Hold on. Kevin's going to fill you in some more information.
The weigh-in is at the landing tomorrow at 6 p.m. and we are actually just in the back working it out with Robert now. And looking at the terrain here, we may be having it at the arena, so we will be sending that out to everyone once we get things worked out on there, because this is a little scary there. So right now,
12 noon, you don't have to worry about this.
say it again.
When it's 12 noon, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. All right.
That means you're with one of the fighters who wants to eat. Is that what it's up to the commission?
When is that going to be at 5?
Yeah, at 5. The weigh-in will be at 5 p.m.
But you must
at the landing.
report at 4. All fighters must be there a minimum of an hour earlier.
Can we get 3?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, so we'll say
Actually, we want to thank everyone that's helping us out with this here. We hope you all come out to see a really good fight. See everyone is ready. Glad to see someone started talking not so nice because it is boxing. But I look to see you all again. Thank you.
All right, first, we're going to have you take a picture in front of the post. How about it? Okay.
Stare down.
Here's the stare down with Proksa. Well, you got to face the television camera.
That's one getting
Okay. Okay, co-feature, you guys, in the front of the podium. Come on. Kevin, get in the picture. In the front. First, the fighters. Okay. All right, that way. First, look out that way. Okay, got it? Now at each other, guys. Look at each other. Okay, Kevin in the middle. Stay right there, boys. All right? Don't hit the promoter. Okay. Okay, all got? Okay. Get in the middle, Sergio. And then we're going to do the other card, guys. Proksa's out. Okay? All right? Donovan?
Curtis.
Where's Donovan? Whatever. Come on, you fight, huh?
You're in place of Proksa, so you're in.
Get in here, guy. Get in. Sergio, let's do another picture with him. Okay, and then we'll do one more to co-feature.
pleasure. I forgot to mention you, I'm sorry. Every athlete wants to help, but they don't put their time and their money where their mouth is, and that's very classic what you're doing, man. Appreciate it.
All right, now Patrick, come on, okay? Come on, guys. All the boxing guys are gonna love this one. Fight News, boxing scene.
Mincy Sterner Pro.
Okay? Donovan? Come on up. This is your business, it's your job. Who's your, where's he at? Whoa, get over here, will you?
I guess we'll get Kareem up
My
there.
age, you're making me think. Get on this thing.
You'll be next.
Okay? All right.
We got Kareem and
Chris,
Chris.
come on up. This is the good part, guys. Tomorrow, I mean, is the more a little brutal, then Friday's really brutal.
From Taras.
Yep. Ross, come on. Okay, guys, thank you very much. One more. The Olympian. Come on, baby. And his opponent's getting his ice down. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, guys?